Hey, all, just really quick. Want to take a quick second. This is Tyler, Agent Strauss or Levi Stafford, and just say, hey, thanks for listening. Also, it would really help us out if you wanted to follow us on our Instagram at Chaos Engine Pod. There's more people there, kind of helps us out. And along the same lines, if you want to help us out, whatever you're listening on, Podcast Addict, iTunes, or what is it, Apple Music Now, Amazon, whatever you got. Look us up on there, review us, give us that 5-star rating. That really helps us out. I mean, we're just a couple of nerds who like doing this for fun, but that doesn't mean we don't want more people to see it. And the more people that see it, the more people that like it. Maybe we can make a little more, maybe another podcast, maybe just make this one even better equipment. Who knows? But you know what you should do either way. Tell a friend about us, especially if you like Delta Green. Maybe you can start your own game. Again, just want to say thanks. Follow us on Instagram, Chaos Engine Pod. Rate, review. Maybe follow me on Instagram. I'm at Pictures of My Dumb Cat. Bye.
Dearly beloved, we're gathered here to celebrate this thing we call life. The life of Strauss.
Yeah. Such as it is.
It was you almost made it out of a Delta Green campaign with a character I didn't kill.
I almost did. So far, I'm, 0 for 4 or 5?
Yeah, but I mean, that's Delta Green, right? Like,
yeah.
I feel like that's how it is.
I mean, I think they say it somewhere in the book.
Yeah.
Like, you are on the mission until you are the mission or you're dead.
Exactly.
So,
but yeah, unfortunately, we saw the end of Levi Strauss.
Well, Levi Stafford.
Levi Stafford. Strauss. That's right. That's true, yeah. Yeah, I wanted to first say sorry. I know you built him. He was a great character. I loved him. I thought you did a really good job with him, kind of conveying his abilities to compartmentalize like the crazy shit he'd seen, but still focus on the mission.
That's kind of what I was going for.
I thought you were a good counter to Jake's like Duffy, who was just like losing his shit slowly.
Yeah, he was fun though.
Oh, he was great. Jake did such a great job. Everybody did a great job.
Yeah, but that's kind of what I was going for. Is like, I think before I made Strauss, before we started playing, every character I'd played in one of your games was like not a cop or not a military. It was like an independent, like bookish kind of thing.
Yeah,
or like a
private investigator. Or
something like that. But I want somebody who was like, had seen some shit and was here for the mission.
Yeah. And you nailed it.
Yeah.
So I guess let's get to the, elephant in the room with Strauss.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to do a home scene because there's no home to be had.
Unfortunate.
I know. So I wanted to run it by you. What I can go both ways. Would you prefer that Strauss's body been recovered, or do you want the fallout of him being left there and everything?
I like the idea of fallout.
Okay.
But, see, that's a tough question because, here's what I don't want. I don't think that it makes sense for him to like the body to be recovered and to be taken back to the Tri-Cities and make up a fake reason that he died.
Right.
Give him like a burial. I'm totally fine with, Delta Green had to send somebody to pick him up and he's just dumped out in the Palouse.
Yeah. I honestly had kind of the idea when we talked about this was, I don't think it would be one of the team members, but even if it was, let's leave it up to you. Do you want it to be Agnes and Duffy that get rid of him, or do you want it to be the Vulture?
That's a good question. Where did we leave them exactly?
We just left with everybody at the house. We didn't really do anything after that. It kind of just faded out, and then we cut like a couple days later when the lady when she didn't show up for work. There was no mentions of a body. So I like leaving it nebulous to like someone went back that night and grabbed the body. So who do you want it to be? Because there's two different burial plans there, right?
Yeah, there definitely is. I think Man, I wish I would have asked the other players about it, but I feel like of the 3 that were there, I think the Vulture would have been the one to like, we need to clean this bit up.
Oh yeah, I think Wes would have told him like,
yeah,
you're the least attached here.
Exactly.
Go get this out of here.
Least attached. Like he knew him for all of a day and a half,
right?
Maybe,
exactly.
If even that long.
Yeah,
I don't even like. I think it's less than 24 hours.
It was less than 24 hours.
Yeah, and he's totally detached. If there's somebody needs to sneak in at night, grab the body, bury him. Because that's the other thing. Like we didn't fire any shots in the furniture warehouse.
No,
we didn't do anything so that anybody else would go in there. There's no reason he can't sneak in and just grab the body.
Exactly. So, okay. Well, I think that we see that. We see the Vulture creeping in there at night, later in the evening, recovering the body of Strauss, maybe wrapping him in a tarp or a blanket, or be pulled into the alleyway.
I'm sure they got rugs there.
Yeah, true. Yeah, exactly. And we see him driving off. We see him heading out into the surrounding hills of Ellensburg, and finding just a random dirt road out. I'm going to say it's like south of Ellensburg, not even going towards Yakima. There's just like random kind of roads.
Not on any of the big highways.
No. Yeah. I think we just see him drive down a road for maybe 45 minutes to an hour. He finds a spot, pulls over next to kind of a river, and just starts digging a hole. And digging, stopping every once in a while when a car passes by or whatnot. You know, people might wonder what he's doing out there. Maybe he's further down the bank or something like that. And then we see him pull out that carpet and unroll Strauss and just kind of push him in there.
R.I.P.
Taking any sort of identification, obviously. Maybe he takes that and like burn. We cut to him like later on, just like throwing a wallet into a fire or something like that, burning any remnants of who you were. And yeah. How'd you gone with the other 2? I was going to have them drop your body off with in the lake that Jake did it in.
Oh,
so you'd be with the meal.
That would have been a good idea, but
no, I think that's a good idea. I think that works. It makes the most sense. Like the Vulture would have done it. I think West wouldn't want to put that trauma onto the rest of them, even though it was already inflicted on them by having to see you. But
yeah,
it's different when they got to go in there.
Yeah, and I think that would get a little nebulous mechanics-wise, because I'm pretty sure there's a sanity roll for seeing one of your friends dead.
It is. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to... Yeah, this is all kind of in the interim, so... okay. Well, I wanted to ask you a couple questions about Strauss.
Fire away.
Okay. Why did you let me kill him?
I'm just joking.
No, I'm just fucking with you.
Dude, honestly, though, that little bit, I rolled like 66, 67, 66.
Well, I rolled to see who it was going to go after.
Yeah, like it just, like, the rolls were so fucking weird. It just worked out.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. I'm not sour about it.
Were you happy with the evolution of Strauss? Like, as you played him through the 2 missions?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I didn't bring this up. So here, I'll give you a little background for kind of like the thought. So I came visually, I said he's Henry Rollins.
Right, yeah.
But as for like the kind of attitude that I started, like what I gave to him, what I kind of tried to play him as, have you watched the X-Files?
Yes.
Dog It.
Okay, yeah.
I was thinking like a little bit, Dog It if Dog It like already knew there was supernatural shit, but like hadn't really seen it himself. So that's what I was thinking, like, Strauss never had seen anything.
Right.
But he knew that there were things out there that were dangerous.
He's always on the periphery.
Yeah. And that's why I really enjoyed it. That every time there was some weird shit, he would just, like, was not the one that kind of got the brunt of it. He got it really in 2 spots. At the ritual.
Yeah.
And that was...
But everybody got it then.
Everybody got there. But then I picked Amnesia.
Yes.
So, like, he doesn't really know.
Which I love. I thought that was such a good part of the second season where, like, everyone's like, well, yeah, this happened. You're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
Like, so
I don't remember the details. And then when he saw Rutsack in the bar against the mirror, that's, like, the other major thing. But besides that, everything was on the periphery. And I was really happy that it seemed like especially in the second mission, it was like he's getting more and more. But that's how I wanted to approach him, is like, he knows, but he's on the outside. and as he slowly breaks, that changes.
Gotcha. No, I thought it was great. I really liked watching him, like from the first to the second, and I thought you guys did a good job with questioning West and being iffy about it. But I thought I respected your character choice of like, this affects me now. Like, I'm in it just for that reason.
Yeah.
Whereas like, talking with Jake, I was like, you push back on West a lot, and like, we're very iffy of the mission, but you still went along with it because obviously character choices and whatnot. But, I love that. Yeah. You were always like the first to just like, to get back and focus, like, okay, how do we solve this?
Yeah, like we can go talk about covens all day, but my name, my silhouettes on a wall. What's going on?
Yeah. Is there anything that you wish you could have done different over the past 2 missions with him?
Without
like any situations that played out that you wish you would have redone?
That's complicated because I like the way it went, and I wouldn't change the way it went.
Okay.
However, I would like to know, without having changed it, I would like to glimpse that alternate reality where instead of running, he would have tried to shoot Marissa right there.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, I like what he did in the moment. It was like, especially because I feel like that kind of played into he's always on the periphery of shit, because if he'd stayed there, he would have either died or seen some...
Or killed her. Right there.
And, like, right then and there, and it, like... who knows what could have happened. I want to see that alternate reality, but I'm happy with what happened.
Okay.
Because, I mean, kind of as outside the actual story, that did kind of put a stop to our other Delta Green team problem.
It did, yes.
Yeah, like, it's fucking, they're sacrificial lamb, and now we know who the bad guys really are.
Yeah. I thought, I like that kind of, that you left 2 like critical moments to dice roll. Like in the first one, it was whether you're going to save Duffy from cutting his throat, or shoot a mule who's hitting you with an axe. Like, I thought that was a great choice.
I mean, because I'm not a highly trained special forces agent.
Exactly. Yeah,
I don't know exactly what he'd do, but I feel like he would split second do one or the other. So I'm not going to waffle. I'm going to leave it to the dice.
No, I think that's great. I love that. I appreciate that about you, is that you make incredibly well-crafted characters, and you put a lot of thought and like effort into them, but you don't, like, it doesn't hurt your feelings when they die.
No, not at all.
Like, I love, I like, that's something I really enjoy about playing with you, is like, I don't have to feel like I have to step on eggshells. Like, if I kill Tyler's character, like, he'll be bummed, but I know he's got 16 other ideas that are just as rad.
I got more, man. Hey, our Pathfinder game, I got so many more.
I know you do. I got another character in the other Pathfinder game I run who's the same way. He's like, I got 16. He's like, I got 12 backup characters. So, like, you want to kill him? Cool. Like, I got another one ready. I'm like, all right, good to know.
This is a little unrelated, but the only sad thing about our Pathfinder game with my backup characters is I had to get rid of the Bard because Jake's playing a Bard.
That's true. Well, part
Bard. But I had a Bard, Carson, who, based on Dionysus from the Hades game.
Nice.
Just awesome. Be like, come on, man. Like, don't worry about it.
That's fantastic.
But he basically did what Jake does, like buff people. So, fuck, I get rid of that one. But,
well, hey.
Oh, well.
If Okie Dokerson dies, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I don't want Okie to die, though.
I don't either. I love Okie. I had another question here.
Sorry to derail you.
No, you're good. That's what we normally do. We derail quite a bit.
Yep.
What was I going to ask you? So, looking kind of forward, do you plan to take anything that you learned from playing Strauss into your next character, or are you trying to go with like a completely different mindset into the next one?
That's a good question. I am trying to. I liked leaving things up to roll the dice too, but for this next character, I'm going a completely opposite direction from Strauss.
Okay.
So I think I'm also going to, maybe I will leave it up to dice sometimes, maybe, but I kind of want to have somebody with like, I know ahead of time what exactly they're going to do.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense.
Because it's a totally opposite character from Strauss.
Which is good.
Yeah. And just hopefully it'll work.
I'm sure it will. I mean, I don't see why it won't. It's kind of how Delta Green is. They just grab people and throw them in there. So
yeah, and I don't know if you wanted to talk about it, but we can get to it.
We'll get to it. Yeah. Okay, well, I think we
before that.
Oh, what you got?
Is there anything you wish Strauss would have done differently?
No, honestly, I love the way you and Jake, especially when you guys didn't trust Agnes and Reflex and went to the other Delta Green team. That threw me for such a loop. I was like, oh shit, I love this. Yeah, let's get that conflict. Let's get that turmoil. Oh, it's so good.
I mean, we were both sitting there like, they're just fucking listening to these witches. Like, what do you know?
And I was telling Jake, it was really hard for me. I was really nervous about the Coven aspect of getting you guys to trust them. Like, I was super nervous about it being believable enough that people would be like, yeah, okay, yeah, maybe there are 2 Covens and like these are the good ones. Because it's so tough to like, you're instantly on edge around them because you know what, like, this is Delta Green. There's nobody using hypergeometry and shit like that's good.
Yeah.
And you don't know it's hypergeometry, but these people are just like, you don't know. So that was a really tough thing for me where I was like, how? Because originally, I think I told you guys this, I had a whole scene planned for like going to Crest's house.
I think you maybe mentioned, but you didn't tell us like what your idea.
I didn't know how I could get you guys there without railroading it. You know what I mean? And I'm trying not to railroad in this game. Like a lot of it, I'm trying to have preset points and I know what's going to happen. And depending on your actions, I'll like certain things will like, yeah, if you guys hadn't called to like bargain with that group, they would have done that sacrifice that night. And had you not been there to stop it, you guys would have been a whole other world.
And that would have been such a wild difference. But with the Coven aspect, like the second that, so it was Agnes and Marissa in the coffee shop. And she's like, what? I didn't call you. Or was it she got a phone call too?
Yeah.
I remember exactly. The second that happened, I was like, oh shit. I know they're fucking with us.
Yeah.
That's part of why Jake and I were like, we don't trust these 2 anymore because they didn't.
Yeah. No, I thought it was great. Yeah. I thought that was a really cool wrinkle and I didn't see it coming. It was very much a pivot moment for me there. It was like, all right, well, how are we going to deal with this? Like, I had always just planned on them. I really didn't really, I'm trying to think of the best way to put it. I knew the other team would be a factor, but I was trying to figure out where to plug them in and like have them, whether you were going to even interact with them or if they were going to find you or whatnot. I knew they would notice you guys, but I wasn't quite sure. If they were going to tell you more or what their plan was once they found you. Because like you guys obviously weren't part of the mission, but if you were there, you were included in the mission.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I feel like I should have clocked them earlier. They were the media team.
Oh, it's fine, but you wouldn't have.
Yeah,
it's tough. It's one of those things where, like, I feel if you get that level of paranoia with every person, then you're just going to be. It's not. I don't know if it's fun at that point to be like constantly like, I don't trust these motherfuckers. But I mean, you've also seen some weird shit, so I get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think let's go with the eulogy of Strauss here.
Okay.
And so we focus in on a very similar care center that we've seen.
Did we name it?
I don't think we did we? If we did, I don't remember.
Neither do I.
Okay.
So I don't want to name it.
No, you're good. We see a similar check-in. We see, maybe it's the secretary from the first one. Strauss was there last time. Same lady. And we see, instead of Strauss talking to her, we see a man with, he's got like a decent suit on. Nothing crazy. But he has a briefcase and he's kind of just making chat with our woman here. And you see him slide a packet of papers across to her. And he gives her time to open them and kind of start reading them. He's just like, yes, as you see here, everything's in order. Mr. Fisher's care will be handled by my office as per Mr. Stafford's instructions. There's just one more matter that I need to take care of personally while I'm here. And we cut to a view of from an outside window. And it's looking into a room. Nick, Strauss's old comrade, is propped up in his wheelchair. And he's just staring out the window. The same blank stare that we've seen him when we first met him. And yeah, there's nothing there. And if it is, you can't tell what it is. We see the man with the briefcase step into the room. And he pulls a chair back. And he takes a seat, kind of sits on the bed and is staring at him while setting his briefcase on the table next to the bed. And he says, I've been informed that you're unresponsive to the outside world. We hear the briefcase locks and he opens it up. All the same, I've been instructed to pay you a visit with and he pulls a sheet of paper out and scans it quickly to find the quote he wanted. With the hope that there is still any of you there to understand what I'm about to say. And he pulls another piece of paper out and a business card and sets them down in front of him. Mr. Fisher, I've been instructed to read you this letter aloud, leave it and my information with you, and then leave without bothering you any further. He pulls out a letter from the table, kind of angles it so he can see what he wants to see, and then he begins to read. To Nick, my comrade in arms, if you're hearing
this, or, God willing, reading this, then I guess I'm not around anymore. Best case scenario is you got better. You woke up, started living again, and I just forgot to change my will. But something tells me that isn't what's happened. I tried to live a safe life, but you know how it is. I retired, but didn't exactly retire. Maybe that's why you're reading this. The lawyer is here because I've set everything up for the future. After I left the service, I actually did pretty well for myself. Shocker, I know. You wouldn't have guessed it during boot camp, but maybe some of your good sense rubbed off on me. Between the early military retirement and what I negotiated from my service after I left, you should be well taken care of. I've set up a trust, and everything goes to you. The lawyer reading this is a representative of the firm I hired. They'll take care of everything. The gun range will be handled by George. He's a good man, has a great head on his shoulders, he knows the ins and outs. And he's getting paid well, don't worry. But if he ever decides he's done, the firm will take over. In either case, they'll make sure my estate continues with its purpose. That purpose is you. Everything else is going to you. Your care is provided for as long as you need it. I hope it isn't long. But I've hoped you'd wake up for almost a decade as I write this, and so far you haven't given me any sign that I'm reaching you. I hope I am. I hope some part of you is still there. So that leads me to why somebody is reading this to you. I just want to tell you I'm sorry for everything. I'm sorry I couldn't help. I'm sorry I couldn't find you better care. I'm sorry I only visited once a week. I'm sorry I missed a few weeks. I could tell you those times were for a good reason, but that's just an excuse. I'm sorry. But most of all, I'm sorry I was too slow. I was too far behind you. If I had moved quicker in that cave in Syria, maybe things would have been different. Maybe if I'd have volunteered to take point that day, it would have turned out different. Maybe if I'd have trusted my gut, I could have changed things. I guess we'll never know. But I haven't stopped thinking about it since the day we got shipped back here. I can never change what happened, so I'm doing what I can to make up for it. I wish I could be there with you. Yours, Levi.
The lawyer gently folds the letter in thirds. He pulls an envelope from his briefcase. He fits the letter inside. He reads what's written. He reads what's written on the front. We only see his melancholy expression. For what it's worth, I'm sorry as well. We'll take care of you. Someone will be here in a few days to take you around the grounds. And he says as he sets the envelope down on the table. He closes his briefcase and stands up and leaves the room. The camera pans down to the letter, where we see what Strauss wrote on the front. For Nick Fisher, with love, Levi. And I think our lasting shot here is we pan up to Nick, staring at the door as the man leaves. We hear the footsteps going down the hallway, eventually disappearing into just background noise. And we cut back to Nick's face. And we see that he's got a tear coming out of the corner of his eye.
Of course.
And we cut away from there. We fade to black. And now we get to talk about your new character.
Sweet.
You're going to roll here for his stats, I believe, correct?
Yes,
That's the plan?
I am. Okay. I'm going to roll
So you roll 46, drop the lowest.
Yeah, so I've only got one die, so we're gonna like this.
I told you I have tons of dice.
Yeah, you did. I really should have taken you up on that, but here we go. We got 1.
Not good.
5, 6, and 4. So that was 1, 5,
15?
6, 4. Total of one of my scores is 15.
Nice.
So we got, what's that? 5, 6, 2, and 5. So 5, 6, 2, 5. That's a 16.
Starting off strong.
So far, that's pretty good. Wow. 2, 5, 1, 3. So 2, 5, 1, 3. Drop the 1. Ooh, that's brutal. I got a 10 in the mix.
Hey, that's average. That's average.
Average. So we need a total of 6 of these. Okay.
Yep.
So we got 5, 6, 5, 1.
So 16.
1, another 16. So far, this is
He's good.
I'm liking this.
Yeah, you're kicking ass.
2, 1, 4, 1. Oh God, 2,
So
1,
7?
1. Yep,
All right.
we gotta. Okay, I think that's gonna be strength. Probably.
Okay. So he's weak.
Yeah. 6, 1, 1, 1.
Oh!
Wow. Okay, so 7 and an 8.
There you go.
Okay,
Last
so-
one.
No,
Or is that all of them?
That's all of them. So
Okay,
I got,
there we go.
I got 10, 16, or sorry, 15, 16, 10, 16, 7, and 8.
Okay.
That is, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So he's going to have 2 distinguishing features for whatever he's got. So he's going to be, if you do one with strength, he's going to be weak.
I think.
You can pick another one, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah. I think for the moment, my instinct, and actually, I think I know where I'm going to put some of these scores.
Okay.
This isn't final, but definitely going to be a 16 intelligence, and definitely going to be either a 15 or a 16 power.
Okay.
And I'm thinking charisma is going to be a 7.
Gotcha.
Because,
Just unlikable.
well, not necessarily unlikable.
Awkward.
Because, I don't know how much detail do you want to go into the idea I've got.
Yeah, let's lay it on me. What you
Okay.
got? What's your concept for this character? What are you comfortable sharing?
I'm comfortable sharing everything.
Let's do it.
So my going as far away from Strauss as possible, but also I really want to dig into. I love the Cthulhu shit. I love the whole world.
Yes, you are.
And I actually know a shitload about the world, so sometimes it feels weird, like playing a character who
Doesn't.
Yeah. And I don't mean to say like this new character knows like everything about Unnatural, but like he's more it wouldn't be as much of a shock to him to hear that these things are real.
And we haven't really dealt with typical Eldritch horror in this, right? It's been big ghost stories for the most part. Like,
exactly.
There's been, like Yog-Sothoths or anything like that.
So there's a difference in Delta Green between occult and unnatural.
Right.
This dude is more into the occult. He's graduated from Miskatonic University in New England.
Okay.
He's a scholar whose specific area of study is occult folklore.
I love it.
So like basically old ghost stories or like real historical like folklore of like witch cults and weird shit like that.
Okay.
Which I thought would work well if our third mission is hunting down a witch.
That makes sense.
Like maybe he's brought on because they just need whatever.
Have you ever seen The Frighteners?
I have. That fucking movie.
Jeffrey Combs, the guy, the FBI agent that's hunting them, the really like Weasley guy.
Okay. I'll tell you this. I don't remember it very well, but
that's who I'm picturing.
I remember that movie because I was far too young to watch it, and I started having nightmares that ghosts were ripping my heart out.
Oh,
yes.
Like that. I picture your guy like I'm showing everyone a photo here.
So,
but I'm picturing like slick black hair, like really awkward and like Weasley, and like he's just a weird guy in that. But then he like takes off his jacket at one point, and he has all these like occult things tattooed on his body.
Okay, I not going that route because my thought was Egon Spengler.
Okay,
like,
nice.
But not like he's not going to be out here like, yeah, there's witches around here. But he's like, if they were real, it'd be like, oh, then I know all about them.
Gotcha.
But he doesn't like go out believing necessarily in all of this stuff.
Gotcha.
But like Egon in the way that he's just really matter of fact about the shit he's learned.
He was the scientific part of it.
Yeah, except it's more like a study of literature rather than thinking that this is a real historical fact. So
like
those kind of, so I say Egon, but I don't mean to say like, I know everything about the supernatural. It's like he knows everything about folklore.
Yeah, he's very in depth with the folklore. So
that's kind of like the angle I'm going.
Okay, I think it's great.
So it may change a little bit, but that's where I'm starting from.
Right, gotcha.
I don't have a name yet. Not that far along.
Okay. Do you have any idea for bonds or anything?
Well, so that is the question. Let me pull the character creation thing up. So first I want to calculate, well, I can't calculate my derived attributes, but defining the bonds. So you get, how many do you get?
Well, it depends on what your background is. So you have to pick a background.
Okay.
So you've done like anthropology or historian?
That is exactly the one I was going to go.
You get 4 bonds.
Okay.
And each score is equal to your charisma.
That's
so 7
what
points.
It was. Okay. I couldn't remember because I mean Strauss started with 1 bond.
Yeah, I think it's on page 30. When you're doing this, I believe it's on page 30 is where that information is. Nope, obviously not because that's special training.
No, it's
32.
Oh boy,
it is 36.
36.
Description: bonds. There it goes. Each bond begins with a score equal to your agent's charisma. So there you
go. All right, cool. So start with 4 bonds. I hadn't really thought that.
That's fine.
That type of
I didn't
bonds.
know.
He's definitely going to have like bonds at Miskatonic.
Okay, like an old professor or something.
Yeah, like an old professor. And I thought it'd be a fun way to like, if I need to phone a friend.
Right.
Got it right there.
No, I love that. Do you think he's going to have a family or anything like that? Or is he single?
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be family. Maybe he should have a wife or girlfriend or something, but he's not. He's definitely not going to be like Strauss, or Strauss was alone.
Right.
He has a family and connections.
Okay, I like it.
Other ways to project my sanity loss onto.
I get. That's one thing I want to be more cognizant of in the next mission. Is I felt like there wasn't a whole ton of sanity loss in the second mission. Like the first one had a ton, and the second one. I
think there were a couple times I should have rolled again.
Probably, but I think it's I need to be more cognizant of that and whatnot. So, but okay, you're going to do a predetermined like skill package, right?
Yeah, I was looking. Let me pull it up. Damn it! I should have marked the page, but I was looking at the skill packages. Where did they go? So, anthropologist historian is going to be for sure the one.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's page 27.
There we go. Where was it? I was thinking author, editor, or journalist.
Okay.
Just because that kind of lumps together like.
You want to do occultist investigator or conspiracy theorist?
I was thinking about it, but like, you get occult from the author, editor, or journalist one too.
Gotcha.
And I don't.
History would make sense for him.
Yeah, and like that's kind of what I'm thinking, or maybe liberal arts degree, but that doesn't have occult. I'm trying to. I was trying to find some that like, to me, spoke as somebody who is like a fan of the occult.
Yeah,
not necessarily somebody who believes it's all real and knows everything about it, but can be accepting of it.
Gotcha. Okay,
and so that's why I was thinking that one, but I may just take 2 of those and kind of blend them together.
Yeah.
Take out some things I don't like.
Okay.
But definitely going to have a high occult score.
Are you going to start with like adapted to violence or anything like that for his background?
Actually, this is going to be my question. Do you need this character to already be a part of Delta Green?
I mean, unless you're going to set him in Ocean Shores or the surrounding area.
I could.
I'll leave that up to you.
Okay.
If you want him to be part of Delta Green, cool. If you want him to be just like a random person who's in the area, I can absolutely make that work in the story sense.
Well, so the only problem is that if I do give him like a damaged veteran thing, like make him a part of Delta Green.
Right.
The only one that makes sense for how I'm imagining this is things man was not meant to know. Which then kind of changes, so he would kind of know that there's,
right.
The things he's learned and studied, there's some truth to them. That could be interesting. I guess maybe I'll roll the dice on this one.
I mean, you could also, like, if you worked in, like, extreme violence, you could work something into his background, right? Like, it all depends on what you want and how you can craft that background. So, like...
That's kind of the thing. I don't picture him as being, like, super... If he's part of Delta Green, he's definitely not, like, been on multiple missions.
Gotcha.
He was around for, like, one. Something happened to him, and they've kept him as a friendly.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to you. You tell me what you picture him being.
Once I finalize which stats go where and his background package, then I'll take a look and be like, if it makes sense that I need to give that.
Just let me know. We'll work with it. There's a lot of it's kind of. I know Jake pretty much had his character all fleshed out and ready to go, so we knocked that out.
I cannot wait to see that.
It's gonna be good. It's going to be good. I'm still trying to figure out what order I kind of want to save his for last as we're recording these. All
right.
Spoiler, they might be out of order. I don't know yet.
That's fine.
But, I'm just trying to think how I want to do it. But, okay. Ooh. Anything else you got that you want to go over with your character?
No, because I don't want to make final decisions on which scores go where. Although I will say right now, intellect is 16. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put the 15 into power.
Okay.
And I'll do... You know what? Those are the only two I want to decide for now. Because I want to figure out how I'm going to... If I want to make them real uncharismatic.
Right.
Because there's 2 bad scores here.
There is.
And I got to decide, is it going to be con? Is it going to be dex? It's probably going to be dex is one of them.
Yeah, so he's just like super, like clumsy or...
Yeah, he's not agile.
I mean, you could even work it in that maybe he like had an injury, so he's got like a limp or something like that.
You know what? That's a great idea.
That could tie into your violence.
That could definitely hit the violence thing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a really good idea.
I'm just thinking like I like the first thing that popped in my head is as you go occult is like he's a survivor of some like fucking like cult that killed themselves. Ooh. And he like saw it happen, and so like he is used to this violent ways, and so maybe he went to school to like learn to understand more what happened in his childhood.
Man, that's a really good idea.
I don't know, but that's the first thing that popped up. That's just looking at adapted to violence.
You know what? There's a lot of ways this could go.
The one thing I do want you to hit upon is I don't think we really did this in the other ones is motivations. I want to make sure that we're going off of motivations in this. So come up with why he's there, what his motivations in life are, and all that kind of stuff. It's in the book, but I know we didn't really touch upon those in the first 2.
Now the more we talk about it, the more I'm leaning towards, I don't know about, like growing up as a kid, seeing something.
Right.
And that's why he went to study shit, like study occult folklore stuff. But now I kind of like the idea of having studied that and then seen some shit afterwards.
Yeah.
And now suddenly he's like, I'm a goddamn witch finder.
Yeah.
But maybe not that gung-ho.
No, I mean, we could...
But...
Yeah. Whatever it is, let me know, because I can work it into the story.
Definitely, I will have some good motivation.
I trust
something
you.
Solid.
I don't think you've ever made a character who hasn't had that. Unless we're doing like a one-shot for Mork Bore or something like that, which we don't need those.
Yeah. How many did I go through? 2 characters in that?
Mork Borg?
Yeah.
Oh, God, we went through like 15 or 20 that one session.
That was wild.
You guys just like making them and running them in.
We pretty quickly stopped coming up with reasons why they were there.
It was so good. Fantastic. I don't know how you play that game, like a serious campaign. I can't fathom how that would be enjoyable to play that style of game. Like, I like gritty stuff like that. Like, don't get me wrong, but that's like a whole other level of like grittiness. Like, how do you constantly explain that many characters dying and whatnot?
I actually thought about this a while ago. I don't think you can do a sustained, serious, real campaign. Yeah. But I think what you could do is come up with a reason for why there's a big mass of people going in one-on-one. Maybe like oh shit, survivors got to try to make it through this crazy dungeon so they can find the safe path. Everybody can get through. But you play this game at a party.
Like a DCC kind of thing.
Yeah. But then every time your character dies, you take a shot.
You'd be fucked up.
Just make a new character.
Well, there's already a game there called Drinking Quest. It's the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
The whole game is based upon you fighting monsters. And every time your character dies, you have to, I think it's like every time they die, you have to take a drink, or every time you get critted, you have to like finish your drink. I don't remember what it is, but it was wild.
All right, I got to look that up.
But I played it once. I got pretty hammered pretty quick. But, I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm really excited for the next mission and where everything's going to go and how it's going to play out. Because I'm trying to go into this and I'm not going to be as giving of information to you guys like I typically am. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try to play this one closer to the vest and really force you guys to use your skills more and like come up with stuff.
So question for you. So you based the last two in Ellensburg.
Yes.
Provided a lot of like personal experience.
I did, yes.
Yeah. Have you spent a lot of time in Ocean Shores?
Absolutely.
Okay. I liked that this next one's set in Ocean Shores because, not to dox myself, but my parents live there right now.
Yeah.
They have for the last couple of years, so I
went
been visiting
every year from about age 9 or 10. No. Like 7 or 8 to about age 13 or 14. My parents had property right next to Duck Lake. If you know where that's at.
I don't.
Okay. Do you know where the airport is in Ocean Shores? It's like on the east side. They were 2 streets over from the airport down that road. I forget what the road is, but
I'm more familiar with the, quote unquote downtown.
Right, yeah.
But like the Dunes area too, and all the weird little bars there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I spent numerous summers there. That's why I don't like going to Ocean Shores, because I'm so sick of it, because I went there I spent like weeks at a time there, and there's nothing to fucking do. It is there is nothing for kids to do there except for fish. And we fished a ton, but we just were like ride our bike around. I'm very familiar with Ocean Shores.
Perfect.
So that's kind of why I picked it. I thought it would be a good, a change of pace from Ellensburg. I don't really doing a third part in Ellensburg always felt kind of tough. Like if you guys would have failed and we had to do like the post-apocalyptic shit, then that would have been more sense. But even if you guys passed, my idea was to go back to like the 80s and tell a story there before like anything happened and kind of go that route. But now we have an opportunity to tie in a third story that fits with the story that we already told.
That'll be good.
I've got some ideas brewing. I think I got some. The Handler's Guide has provided me with some ample material.
Yeah. I bet
also looking up Nyarlathotep and the lineage and the family tree and all that has also helped with me. Because it was always the hard part with like Eldritch horror, especially set in like Ellensburg. Because there's no fucking bot. There's like a lake there. Like if you're gonna do Eldritch horror, you got to be on the water. You got to have like that ability to have that. And now we got that ability.
The mysterious, the unfathomable sea.
I am also excited for you being such a Lovecraftian fan.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Because there were certain things that I'm going to throw into this season that are going to tie into like Lovecraftian lore that I was a little nervous they would go over everybody's head. But at least having you there, you'll have that little insider knowledge.
Maybe I just need to go read Lovecraft again.
So I don't think it's going to be pretty obvious once you get it. But I don't think it's going to be anything where you're like, I didn't get that reference. You'll be like, I fucking know what you did, and I love it.
I'm stoked about it. I'm super excited.
Yeah. The only thing I will tell you right now is that if you are going to be part of Delta Green, this mission takes place in November 2019.
Okay, I do want to mark that down.
So it is basically, what is that? September, 3 months after the last mission.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's pretty quick. So they turned around like, got to get her.
Yeah, they found some lead. Well, that's the thing. You guys don't even know if you're going in. You'll find out what the mission is.
Okay. Tyler knows the mission, but my character does not right now know.
Well, I don't think Tyler knows what the mission is.
Well, you did say we're hunting her down, but I mean...
that's part of it.
I guess so.
I'm not
True.
I think it would be... I don't know if we could do a good, solid session of you just constantly trying to look for a lady in a small town.
Yeah, that's true.
But
especially a small town like Ellensburg. Ocean Shores.
Yeah, Ocean Shores is smaller than Ellensburg.
Yeah, Ocean Shores, like, you just hop on the Ocean Shores neighborhood Facebook, like, anybody seen this weirdo? And they'd probably tell you right away.
Like I think I was telling, I think there is 4 or 5 cops that, like, for the entire city.
Yeah.
It's so small. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see what you guys are going to do. I'm excited to throw everybody into the mix.
Yeah.
I'm excited for what's going to come for us, too, like, after this. And what if we're going to move on from Delta Green and find another system, or if Misha wants to take over.
Yeah, I don't know. She's been really bugging me about getting a young Strauss character sheet.
I already turned everything in.
I have not, because I keep forgetting.
I think I had it to her, like, the first week. I was like, let me know if you want me to change anything. And I shot over my character.
Nice.
So, former wrestler. He's based off of Tom Atkins. But
very nice.
I'm super, super excited to play him.
Well, maybe we'll see
if we do, I don't know. I've never played Delta Green. Like, I've never been a character in Delta Green. I've always just ran Delta Green, so I'm very...
Maybe we should lean into that then.
I've only done one, like, Cthulhu Eldritch horror game, and that was a game of Cthulhu Dark that a friend ran. And I was the first to die, and I was so stoked. I was just like, yes! Like, fucking kill me. Make it gory. Make it awesome. Like, it was so fun. I think that's how I'm going to be with this game. It's like, I don't care. Like, I don't have a connection to these characters.
Yeah, like, you know what? I'll tell you. Somebody had it happen a lot. I love it when my characters die good.
Yeah, exactly. Let's make it worth it.
Just die well.
So, Tyler, I appreciate you sitting down with me.
Anytime.
I'm really excited to meet your new character and see how they're going to flesh out in our world.
I'm glad we got to talk about it because it gave me some ideas.
Yeah, that's why I'm always here, man. You can bounce anything off me. I've usually got... I don't get to play, so I have a lot of character ideas in my head.
That makes sense.
So, like, yeah, if I can see one of them come to light, I will be happy.
Yeah, maybe I'll work in some of these elements.
Yeah. All right, man. Take it easy.
Later.